JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, $1 million worth of items seized in Sentence Bay, 11 in custody. More than $1 million worth of items were seized and 11 people taken into custody following a number of police operations across Sentence Bay on Saturday. Superintendent David White, acting head of the Sentence Bay Police, said that a gated community was among the areas targeted. In keeping with Operation Leviticus, several operations were conducted in the Sentence Bay area yesterday since the break of day into the afternoon. The prominent gated community of Richmond was targeted, Windsor community, and the Sentence Bay market, he said. The superintendent disclosed that several cell phones and other electronic devices valued at more than $1 million were seized. The individuals were taken into custody for further investigations and possible charges. 2 shot, 1 fatally in St. James bar attack. A man was shot dead and another is nursing injuries at hospital following an incident in Anchovy, St. James on Sunday morning. The police have not yet released the identity of the deceased. The injured man was reportedly shot in the face. Reports by the Anchovy police are that the men were at a bar located close to the entrance of the Nigger Ground community when armed men drove up and opened fire before speeding away. Cops at the Anchovy police station, which is close to the location, overheard the gunshots and rushed to the scene. They discovered both men suffering from gunshot wounds. The men were rushed to the Conway Regional Hospital, where one of them was pronounced dead and the other admitted in critical condition. St. Elizabeth Police list farmers' person of interest in murder. The St. Elizabeth Police have released the name of a man they say is a person of interest in a murder in the parish. He's 39-year-old farmer Dwayne Morrison, otherwise called Sharkey and Rickmond. According to a police investigation on September 9, Everton Spence, a 34-year-old farmer of Treasure Beach, was at home when a dispute developed between a female and Morrison. Investigators allege that during the dispute, Morrison shot Spence several times. Commanding officer for the St. Elizabeth Police Division, Superintendent Robert Chin, says Morrison is a person of interest in the murder incident. Morrison has been asked to surrender to the police. Superintendent Chin urged members of the public to assist in locating Morrison, who is of dark complexion, medium build, and about 5 feet 7 inches tall. Investigators say Morrison is known to frequent several cashpot outlets and various communities in the parish, alongside several male and female associates. Manhunt launched for suspect in death of 3-year-old. The Senton police have launched a manhunt for a suspect in connection with the death of a 3-year-old boy last week. The boy died on Wednesday, just days after he was found with a wound to the head at his home in Steertown, St. Anne. It's reported that on September 2, the child's mother left him in the care for a 24-year-old boyfriend at her home. On her return, she found the little boy with a wound to the head in a semi-conscious state. According to a source, the man told the mother that the child fell and hit his head. The boy was rushed to hospital and later transported to Bustamante Hospital in Kingston for emergency surgery. He died on Wednesday. The 24-year-old man has not been seen since the incident. A senior investigator said that investigators want to question him about the circumstances which led to the child sustaining the head wound. Jamaicans pulled from 4 farms due to poor conditions and abuse. Jamaican farm workers in Canada have been pulled from 4 farms since the start of this year because of what have been deemed unacceptable conditions. According to Chief Liaison Officer of the Jamaica Liaison Service, JLS, in Canada, Kenneth Phillips, it was decided to cut ties with the 4 farms because of poor living conditions, verbal abuse, inadequate working hours, and overall poor treatment of the workers. He said that all the workers were removed and placed on new farms within days following visit by liaison officers and discussions by his team. Phillips said that pre-COVID, the JLS approved living arrangements for the workers, but due to the pandemic, liaison officers were unable to visit the farms as visits were prohibited because of the virus. According to Phillips, once the liaison officers resumed visits to the farms, they realized that all was not as it should be. This year, when we resumed visitation, the officer went and found that the workers were not in the approved accommodations and the new bunk houses did not meet our standard. Within 3 days, we removed the workers and found them new employment, Phillips said on Friday. He said there have been cases where the JSL has pointed out poor conditions to the operators of some farms and the problems were corrected in short order. In the instances where these are not corrected, then we have to act to protect the Jamaican workers because that is our mandate, added Phillips. Andrew Taylor was among the farm workers relocated, and he had high praise for his liaison officer, Althea Riley. The facility was great last year, but this year they moved us from our house on May 28 and put us in 2 containers. It was okay to us, as we were working and didn't know it would be an issue, said Taylor. He added that once Riley visited the farm, she found their living facilities unacceptable, as they had to use outhouses and the containers had no ventilation systems. She called the boss and told her living conditions were unacceptable and told them that she was going to move us, and she did. Mrs. Riley moved us to Underhill Brothers, and we are much more comfortable. We have inside bathrooms, washing machine, and our space, but it is much better than before. I can tell you that Mrs. Riley is a wonderful lady. She stood up first to the boss. We didn't see the problem, but she did. We didn't ask her to come, but she came to give us our tax return and check. Saw the situation and told the boss that she refuses to have us live in these conditions, said Taylor. The farmer program in Canada has been in the forefront of national debate in recent weeks, with allegations from some Jamaican farm workers that they are placed in deplorable and inhumane conditions on farms without an avenue to hear their grouses and receive help. According to an Al Jazeera report on August 22, the farm workers, who are affiliated with the human rights group Migrant Workers Alliance for Change, described their experience as systematic slavery and being treated like mules. Minister of Labour and Social Security Carl Samuda initially claimed that during a recent visit to Canada, he saw nothing to support the claims of the disgruntled farm workers. After coming under fire, Samuda appointed a special fact-finding team to investigate the working conditions of Jamaican workers. The members of the team have not yet been announced and no details released as to when the team will travel to Canada, but Phillips is adamant that the liaison service, based in Toronto, oversees the welfare of all workers under the program. Phillips said the JLS, which was established in 1966 and on agreement with the federal government of Jamaica and Canada, is responsible for administering the seasonal agricultural program on behalf of the Jamaican government. The Jamaica Liaison Service works to ensure that all their documents are in order in Jamaica, meet them at the airports in Canada, and help them with immigration and take them to their places of employment. The JLS, through its 3 field offices, conducts random spot checks on the farms and investigates any reports they may receive, said Phillips. St. George's College footballers robbed during Manning Cup opener. While they were on the field hammering Arden High School 6 Love in their Asa Digicel Manning Cup opener on Saturday night, the St. George's College players were being robbed of their possessions, including cell phones, items of clothing, and even football boots. Moments after leaving the field and recording the biggest margin of victory of all the games played across both the Manning Cup and the Costa Cup, the players discovered that their personal belongings had been removed by thieves. The STGC changing room was on the ground floor of the Kingston Cricket Club and secured by private security. However, persons were able to gain access to the room and remove the items valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. The extent of the losses is still being assessed, but head coach Never Bertie Spell was bitterly disappointed at what took place. "We are very disappointed that this has happened. Apparently, the room was accessed through a back door while we were on the field of play, and a few items stolen," Bell disclosed. Upon returning to the changing room after the match, players discovered that cell phones, boots, personal items such as slippers and shirts were missing, he revealed. "They were unable to enjoy the victory after a very good performance on the field," said a disgruntled Bell. Investigations are still ongoing as to how the thieves were able to access the room when it was reported that only one person had a key to the changing room, and that person remains adamant that he was not responsible for the theft. Bell also revealed that he was told by a member of the Arden coaching staff that it was apparent that the persons involved in the robbery were trying to gain access to their dressing room but failed because it was padlocked from the inside. Police Chief laments putting cops in schools. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson has lamented the need to put police officers in schools to prevent criminal gangs from recruiting students. He made the comments on Thursday while giving an update on the work of school resource officers who are members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. He said there are 211 resource officers in about 154 schools across the island. "We will see how that program goes, but you shouldn't really have to have police officers policing students in schools," Anderson said. There's a disciplinary process that's laid down by the Ministry of Education, but we are aware that these gangs can have tentacles in schools and that the violence can get really beyond, in some instances, what administrators can deal with, he argued. The Commissioner's update follows the start of the 2022-23 school year on September 5. Anderson was speaking with reporters on Thursday. Following a closed-door meeting, he was briefed by the head of the Westmoreland Police Division, Senior Superintendent Wayne Joseph, on the operational plan to respond to the spate of murders in the area. That briefing was triggered by the death of 3 people, who were among 7 shot by criminals in 3 separate incidents on September 7. 89 new COVID-19 cases, 1 death reported. The Ministry of Health and Wellness reported 89 new COVID-19 cases and 1 death on Saturday, September 10, bringing the infection total to 150,752 and total deaths to 3,284. The new cases comprise 48 females and 41 males, with ages ranging from 11 months to 97 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 25, St. James 14, St. Catherine 10, Westmoreland 9, St. Elizabeth 7, Clarendon 6, St. Thomas 5, Trelawney 4, Manchester 3, Portland 3, St. Mary 2 and St. Anne 1. The deceased is a 72-year-old male from St. Elizabeth. There were 83 recoveries in the last 24 hours, bringing the total to 97,512. Currently, 94 people are hospitalized, 24 of whom are moderately ill, 5 severely ill, and 1 in critical condition. Jamaica's positivity rate for the latest round of testing is 20.3%. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.